Cancer, welcome to your monthly horoscope for May 2024. My name is Adina. I'm an intuitive astrologer, and in these horoscopes, I go over the major themes and topics you will be moving through for the month ahead and all of the significant energies. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you align with my energy and enjoy my content. So let's get right into it. So, starting the month off in May, we have a lot of energy shifts. The last 2 days of April, we had Mars enter Aries and Venus enter Taurus. So this is really shifting the energy up, especially with our motivation, willpower, drive. With this Mars now being out of Pisces and into Aries, its home sign. So this is really great. Also having, let's touch on this actually first. So having Mars in your 10th house of career and public reputation, there might be more conflict at work. You might be super motivated within your career to get things going, get things moving. There might be something around your public reputation or public image that you're having to address. It really depends on your own personal relationship with Mars, meaning that if you have a day chart, if you're born during the day, Mars is your most malefic planet. If you're born at night, Mars is not your most malefic planet, Saturn is. So it really depends on your personal relationship with Mars, how this energy is expressed. But just generally, having Mars in Aries is great because Mars can express itself authentically. There's no restrictions here. Um, there's no suppression of energy. It's a really nice energy for motivation, willpower, and drive. Now, on the second, we have Pluto stationing retrograde in Aquarius, and we have Pluto enter Aquarius back in January. Now, on the third and fourth, we're going to have Mars forming a sextile to Pluto right here. But in February, we had all the personal planets enter Aquarius and connect to Pluto. So February was very eventful for Pluto and Aquarius energy. If you think back to February 13th and 14th, when we had the Mars Pluto conjunction, what was showing up for you? What were you moving through? What were you navigating? This could have to do with career, it could have to do with public reputation, public image. It could have to do with children because Mars is the co-ruler of your fifth house. So it could have to do with children, romance, creativity, creative pursuits, hobbies, interests, all those themes and topics. Also, to money, your partner's finances or money coming in from outside resources or psychological healing and transformation because Pluto's actually in that eighth house. So all of those themes and topics you can be working with this kind of Mars Pluto energy. But when we have conjunctions between planets, this is almost like a new moon. This is where there is something started or seeded at the time of the conjunction. And then as the planets connect through transit, it's like milestones to whatever was started or seeded at that time. So, if you think back to February 13th, 14th, what was started with the Mars Pluto conjunction, there could be some type of opportunity coming in with this sextile the first week of May. And having Mars now in your 10th house and also ruling your 10th house, this could have to do with career. Now, on the 6th, we're going to have Mercury form a conjunction to Chiron. This is the third and final conjunction Mercury is going to make to Chiron. Check out my Mercury retrograde video where I go into this energy a lot deeper. But if you think back the month of April, and even during the pre-shadow period when Mercury connected to Chiron and then connected to Chiron again through the Mercury retrograde process, and now during Mercury post-shadow, there's this final conjunction. This is where, think back to the last month. What have you been moving through around healing, around insecurities? What was triggered for you? We also want to keep in mind that with that solar eclipse we just had April 8th in Aries, that solar eclipse was conjunct Chiron exact. So we've all been going through major activations and triggers around healing, around insecurities, vulnerabilities, trauma. So when Mercury connects to Chiron for this final kind of this third and final time, there can really be something beautiful coming in, whether it's an intuitive download, whether it's clarity or a final understanding. And this could just be maybe you're having a conversation with something and something stands out to you, or you receive some type of information. This is a day where you do want to pay attention to kind of what is showing up for you because there's something here that could help you around your healing process or healing journey. Now, on the 7th, we have the new moon in Taurus. So this is a great great time to set intentions for anything that has to do with those 11th house themes and topics. So, friends and friendships, social groups, online connections, hopes, dreams, those are all 11th house themes and topics. Also, too, I post forecasts every new moon and full moon. So, make sure you watch for that, where I go into the chart for the new moon, and then I'll also go through all 12 rising signs as well. Now, once we get to the second week of May, on the 13th, we're going to have the sun form a conjunction to Uranus. So there's quite a lot going on in this 11th house for you, Cancer, throughout the month of May, which again, there's a lot of focus on friends, social groups, socializing, maybe a lot of online connections developing. So yeah, that 11th house is quite busy this month. When we have the sun conjunct Uranus, that was a tongue tie. I've noticed since Mercury has stationed, even though Mercury is direct, I'm having a hard time speaking and getting words out. So please bear with me. Mercury is my chart ruler, so I do feel these things quite intensely. But anyways, when we have the sun connect to Uranus, this is really great for awakening and enlightenment, because the sun is literally our life force, energy, and consciousness, and Uranus rules the electrical systems in our body and is also the planet of awakening. So this is a day where there can just be some really powerful insight or clarity around something. So we really want to utilize this day, do some energy healing or energy work, pay attention to our intuitive downloads. On the 15th, we're going to have Mercury enter Taurus, bringing even more energy to that 11th house of friends and friendships, social groups. On the 18th, we're going to have the Sun conjunct Jupiter, and we're going to have Venus conjunct Uranus. So again, this is a time where we do want to pay attention to our intuitive downloads. The Sun conjunct Jupiter is a great auspicious time where if you're wanting to start something new, you could utilize this energy. Venus conjunct Uranus can bring something really sudden and beautiful around relationships or money, or Venus rules your fourth house of home and family, property, real estate. So there could be a sudden, beautiful surprise coming in around home and family. And then Venus rules that 11th house of friends. So there might be even something around friendships showing up. On the 18th and 19th, we're going to have Mars conjunct the North Node in Aries. So you have a lot going on around career and public reputation this year because of that North Node. But when Mars connects to the North Node, this is when we all get fire under our ass. Like, we're already motivated because we've got Mars and Aries. But when Mars connects to that North Node, we feel this sudden push, this powerful desire and passion to go after something new, something that we want. If there's anything you're starting around career, this is a perfect time to kind of take action with that and get that going. Now, when we get to the third week of May, on the 20th, we have the sun entering Gemini. So the sun is going to enter your 12th house. So eventually all of this energy in the 11th house is going to shift into your 12th house. And I just want to note this, is that when we have planets transiting the 12th house, sometimes the 12th house can suppress energy. We can feel a little energetically depleted. Now, the planets aren't going to stay there, so this is just a short period of time. But I find if you give yourself that extra push to get going, you then kind of gain that momentum. So you may just feel like when the sun or Mercury or Venus are transit, all those personal planets are especially Mars, because Mars is our motivation, is transiting the 12th. You just have to push yourself a little harder to kind of get moving. Now, on the 22nd, we're going to have both benefic planets come together. Venus is going to conjunct Jupiter in Taurus. We also want to keep in mind that Venus is very powerful right now. Venus is in her home sign of Taurus. So Venus holds a lot of power at this time. When Venus and Jupiter come together, this again is great energy to utilize. This could be great for home and family. This could be great for friendships, money, relationships. So we want to keep this date in mind and definitely utilize this energy. On the 23rd, we have the full moon in Sagittarius. We have the sun forming a trine to Pluto, and we have Venus entering Gemini. So quite a lot going on the 23rd. Now, I will post a separate forecast getting into this full moon energy, but the full moon in Sagittarius is right here in your sixth house of work, health, and daily routine. So think back to 6 months prior. What intentions did you set at the time of the new moon in Sagittarius? Now is when you can see those intentions come to fruition. And this full moon is highlighting these themes and topics for you. So there may be more focus on daily routine. There may be more focus on nutrition. When we have the sun forming a trine to Pluto here, this could be really great for transformation. This could be really great for spiritual work, energy work, subconscious, like reprogramming the subconscious because the sun is in the 12th house. This is very transformational. And also, I'm going to make a separate video because we have Pluto, Neptune, and Jupiter doing this interesting dance. I might make a separate video about this because this is very transformational. And Neptune's really good for spiritual work, intuition. Neptune is also at that 29th degree, which is a new degree point for Neptune. So this is very new energy we're working with. Now, also when Venus enters Gemini, that's going to be in your 12th house. So again, this is a time where something may come to an ending or a close around home, family, property, and real estate because the 12th house can indicate endings. There might be a friendship ending. There might be something closing out here. But again, this is also too with 12th house energy. You may just have to push yourself a little harder to get going, get things moving. On the 25th, we have Jupiter entering Gemini. So as Jupiter's going to be in Gemini in your 12th house, and I'm going to make a separate video going into the Jupiter and Gemini energy, but this can be really great for awakening, spiritual activations, karmic energy with Jupiter in the 12th. So yeah, Jupiter's going to be in your 12th house for 12 months. Quite an energy shift. And then the final week of May on the 29th, we will have Mars come together with Chiron. Now, this can be a trigger around insecurities, vulnerabilities, trauma, wounds. So think back the last month. What have you been moving through personally with your healing journey? There can be something triggered on this day. So we just want to pay attention to our triggers. Is somebody saying something that triggers an old wound or vulnerability? We want to move through that with self-awareness. We want to move through that consciously, not unconsciously, because that's when we start acting from our subconscious and unconsciously, and that's when we remain in these old karmic cycles. So this is a day that we do want to pay attention to kind of what's showing up for us, especially around healing. On the 31st, we're going to have Mercury conjunct Uranus. So this is a great day for intuitive downloads. This can also be this is also very anxious energy because Mercury rules our mind and our thoughts. Uranus rules the electrical systems in our body and is also the great awakener. So this is, like I mentioned, great for intuitive downloads and energy work, but this is a day we want to make sure we're grounding, we're eating healthy and drinking a lot of water because it can feel very anxious. Like it's very hard to kind of stay grounded on this day. And then from May 30th to June 2nd, we have Jupiter forming a trine to Pluto retrograde. So this can be very transformational. Pluto and Jupiter had their conjunction back at the beginning of 2020. So collectively, I think we're going to see a lot that took place in 2020 surfacing, but this is a trine. This is positive energy. Also think back to what you were navigating the beginning of 2020. There might be something very beautiful. It's almost like this deep, beautiful transformation taking place. So Cancer, I hope this helps you move through the month of May. Thank you so much for joining me. And also, I love to hear your astrology stories in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you align with my energy and enjoy my content. And I will connect with you in the next one.